can't shame the shameless, and you can't give a heart to the heartless. I mean, it just, they don't feel feelings. The people that we're up against, they don't feel feelings. They perform. They're very performative with their feelings. You know, they were performative when Charlie Kirk died. They made up this whole narrative that the entire left was laughing, da 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 da. And then Robert Mueller dies, and the president literally tweets Truth Social that says, "Good, I'm glad he's dead."
Yep.
I don't.
No, and nobody can say anything about
nobody.
it.
Yeah. So I'm done pretending that they have feelings. I'm done pretending that what we're up against cares.
Welcome, everybody, to the Closer to the Edge podcast, the anti-sleep aid for anyone sick of political self-censoring and hushed tones on the left-wing podcast at a time when we need to be loud.
So buckle the fuck up.
Yes. We are here, back in effect. Oh, man, it's good to see you all on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple Play, and all of the good places. I am, of course, Drill Sergeant Doug, and I have here my wonderful co-host, Rook T. Winchester. What's going on, sir? How are you?
Oh, it's just another day in 2026 where the truth is stranger than fiction. So, yeah, it's just one day after another, ain't it?
After, today, you thought that maybe we would be all pretty much extinct after Trump bombed Iran's power grid like he threatened, 2 days ago. In 48 hours, if you don't open up the Strait of Hormuz, we're just gonna bomb all your power grids, and starting with the largest one. And Iran said, okay, well then we'll just bomb all the power grids of everybody who's your friend around here and their desalination plant, since we're doing war crimes.
Cut off the water.
Yeah, I'm just going to cut off the water. Since we're announcing war crimes on Truth Social, we'll just go ahead and do that then. And then, and while you guys are rebuilding, we'll rebuild ours. And the Strait of Hormuz will still not be open. And then he said today, in Truth Social, after having so many great talks with Iran, and things are going so well, I've told Pete Hegseth to call off the bombs on the power plant.
I think he didn't want the markets to crash this morning, because then the markets reacted positively. But, he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He doesn't have a fucking clue.
That's it. The truth is, I said it last night, I said, guys, it's a war crime. It's just a war crime. Like, it's not going to do it. Doing that would mean certain and unavoidable death for anybody, any of our friends, all of the money that he wants, everything that he's looking for that could possibly come from this. It's not going to happen. He's Taco. He's not going to do it. And then...
he got so excited by Venezuela and what he was able to accomplish there that he just thinks he can just, I don't know, he's trying to just mimic Putin. And it's just wild now because they're taking sanctions off the Iranian oil and the Russian oil and to try to bring down oil prices. So, I guess we're done punishing Russia and I guess Iran. So.
Yeah, Russia now has their license and the right to just sell oil anywhere, make as much money as they want, which is what they were hoping for. So now they can make more bombs to bomb Ukraine. Oh yeah, and Iran. So we're paying them to shoot us. Oh yeah, and
wild.
Russia is giving information to Iran, who is shooting us.
Yeah, didn't this happen with ISIS in Syria? Like, isn't this the same game plan? Like, is it just to make Lindsey Graham and, people like him rich? Or is it just...
Yeah,
I don't understand.
What's worse is back then, it was just to make a few people rich. This time, it's because we have an actual mentally unstable maniac child who is immature, stupid, unread, unwell, in the White House, who's being controlled by our adversaries. So,
we can get more into that, but yeah, we're being controlled by adversary, and the person who he picked to put in the White House was exactly the perfect one to do this. He's compromised because he's slept with kids. He's compromised because he is actually stupid. He is actually mentally insufficient and unable to, comprehend or read or think. I don't know how he puts his pants on by himself, honestly, or his own clothes on. And yeah, somebody has to help him. And that is where we are, and that's why we see what we see. TSA is now not getting paid, but don't worry about it, people. ICE is at the airports.
ICE is at the airports. I'm going to call in ICE for my job.
Yeah.
They can just do my job, too.
Hey, ICE, I need some writers. We need writers, ICE. Let me
I need writers. I need drivers. I need, if they could just if they're getting my tax dollars, maybe they could, take care of all sorts of things.
Can they do taxes? ICE. We need accountants. No. We need things that that definitely don't need training.
Yeah, they can fill potholes. Weren't they doing landscaping in D.C.? Or was that? Oh, that was the National Guard.
That was the National Guard. Oh yeah, the Tangerine tornado has blown over another typing fest on Truth Social, Lie Social, and said that he's bringing in the National Guard next because ICE is going so well on day one.
I mean, bring the troops to the polls, I guess, is what he wants to do too. So, put troops at the polls. That's where we're at in 2026, I guess.
Gotta love it. Is America great again, Rook? Is America great again, or when do you think that? How close are we to it being great again? Because troops at the polls seems to be right about there. What do you think?
Was it ever not great? I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. Come on, it's just been fabulous the whole time in America. Like America's just top notch, right now. And make America great again. I mean, come on now. That's just where it's. It reminds me of Stephen Colbert when he used to say, greatest president or great president, and put people in a box.
Yeah. No, it's even better than that. It's when Trump said that, listen, we've already won the war. It's about winning it even more.
Right. Well, it's just declaration. You don't need proof anymore in 2026. All you need is you just need to say it.
We're just going to win it even more now. Even more.
Right.
So listen, man. This is where we are. Seems like we've always been great, according to you. I think that we're definitely.
I'm being facetious. Let's not.
No.
I'm saying clear.
I'm thinking that we're getting great again. It's just as soon as they get to the poll, as soon as we have soldiers and ICE at the polls, I think that's when we'll be great again. I think that's the moment we'll be able to raise that flag, great again. But if those things don't fancy you, if you don't fancy those things and those things don't tickle your balls out there, YouTube and listeners, there is something you can do to try to put a monkey wrench in this thing, and it's called Fight Back. This weekend, there's another No Kings Day on the 28th. I won't be able to be there in Washington. I'm actually holding a neighborhood thing we're doing our own neighborhood organizing on the same day, so that this happens to be what I'm doing. But there's also the dildo revolution happening, right? There's fight back that needs to happen by all of us. And this is not just an entertainment podcast. This is an action podcast. So I'd like to know, Rook, if you have anything to say about the No Kings Day on the 28th, that's what's up. But I know you have a very special, what do you call it, relationship to the dildo distribution as well. Let us know what's going on there, man.
Yeah, well, I'll get to the dildos here in a second, but first I want to, for No Kings, I will be here in St. Paul at what's being dubbed the flagship event of No Kings. We're going to have Joan Baez, Jane Fonda, Bernie Sanders, and
Whoa.
it's just been announced that we're also going to have Bruce Springsteen, I think, singing with Joan Baez.
Whoa.
Right? So I'll be on the ground with Robbie Roadsteamer and DeWolk Farmer and Ari Betancourt and a bunch of other people. So if you're anywhere near St. Paul and you want to join us, come on down Saturday and watch a bunch of people who care. Make relationships with one another so we can be people of action.
So we can actually make America great again.
Right, and take steps to, protest outside of places like these concentration camps, or, direct our protests towards, specific places rather than just parks and marches. We really got to take it to them. So that's one of the reasons we are launching, I guess we call it National Fuck Ice Day, even though every day is Fuck Ice Day. But we thought we would designate April 11th, as the first National Fuck Ice Day. So in preparation for that, we've secured over 8,000 dildos from various sources across the country, and we're in the process of distributing those dildos so they can be used as props at protests, and people can do whatever they want with the dicks. We're not in charge of them. We're not encouraging any unlawful behavior, and we want people to be safe. But there's something about these that really bothered people in power. Not sure what that is.
Well, the thing is, I've always been told that looking into a mirror is hard, and when you are a dick, seeing them, it's too close for comfort. Is what that is.
It could be it, because we've got the attention of. I guess we got the attention of the FBI. The FBI. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I didn't expect
Don't stop.
to get.
I'm just laughing. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. It's all right. It's funny, I guess, to us as well, because then it's just a little confusing why they would show up at one of the we'll call him a delegate, since he's part of the dildo distribution delegation. They showed up at on a delegate's doorstep at like 8:00 in the morning. He was wearing a bathrobe, and he opened the door to the agents, and this was the night after we unpacked and repacked. I think it was close to 4,000 dildos that night.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, lots. And they're secure now. The dildos are in a good place. But apparently these agents showed up at his house, knocked on his door, and he answered the door wearing a bathrobe. And he had a couple, I think everyone took a couple souvenirs home with him that night. So he had a couple. We're just standing there, or suction cup to the countertop in his kitchen, which was visible from the doorway. So, he said that he believes that they made eye contact with the dildos, but they wouldn't use the word dildo, and they were asking very cryptic questions like, how do they organize? And he didn't know what they meant by they. Like, was it the dildo distribution delegation? What was it? So he just said, do you mean ICE? Like, how is ICE organized? I don't understand your question. And just didn't talk to him and give him any, answers about anything. And eventually the agents left. So that's how it was relayed to me. So
hold on, where can I find this story? I saw you post something, but I can't find it anymore. Is that on? Can I get this story? Can I get this story?
Closer to the edge.net. You can go. I think it's pinned towards the top. Closer to the edge.net if you want to read what happened. They like I said, they left after a short while, and that's that. So they haven't showed up at my house yet, or anyone else's house to my knowledge.
This is beautiful, guys. They're doing it. They're doing it. They showed up And I love you guys put the nice big one right there by his face. That's beautiful right there.
Yeah, that's an actual replica, or that's we pasted that from a real photograph. That's one of the 12-inchers right there. I don't know how it's scaling there, but in real life, that thing's 12 inches.
That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Guys, listen, this stuff ain't cheap either, man. I'm thinking we're trying to find a way. I had some people that are already helping to donate to help ease the costs of the dildo distribution, people. And I'm going to say, if I want you guys to email me at politicaldrain.com. politicaldrain@gmail.com. politicaldrain@gmail.com. Email me if you'd like to help out in the funding of this, and we'll get you situated, because they need the help, man. They're doing God's work. They're doing God's work, people.
Yep.
This is amazing.
Yep, and no one's making a dime off this, but we do need help with fuel and some of these. Well, a bunch of these dildos have been donated. Some of them were just offered at rock bottom prices. So I think it was roughly $2 or something for some, per dildo for some of these, which is just a steal. But at the same time, we're talking about 8,000 dildos. So this costs some money.
It's thousands of dollars, people, is what that is. Even at $2 a piece, even at half of them, we're still talking about $8,000, $9,000 there. So, guys, here's the thing. Email me. People are already getting followed by the FBI. So, no, we can't just go do crowdsourcing and funding and all that stuff. Everybody knows the FBI is already on me. So, fuck it. Send it to me. Send me an email. politicaldrain@gmail.com, because we're still free. I'm still a citizen. And by the way, I'm not depressed. I'm not going to off myself at any time. I love my life. I got kids, and I'm feeling great. Okay, so I just feel like I should say that. And if you hear otherwise, I need you guys to make sure that you remember that I said that. But on the other hand, email me if you want to help to fund these things, man. That's what it comes down to, bro. That's what it comes down to.
Yep. And if you know of any drivers, or you are in a state with maybe a lack of supply, you can send an email to dildo distribution delegation @proton.me. So that's dildo distribution delegation @proton.me. And we can see what we can do. We can't fulfill every request, but with 8,000 dildos, we can do what we can.
So here's the thing, guys. I feel like we need to talk about what's happening with ICE at the airport. I'm gonna find a little. I had one that I wanted to show you guys, but now I can't find it, so I'm just gonna find any old one. Let's see what they're talking about, man. There we go. So they're about at a dozen places. And this is what I said. Number one, where are these a dozen places? Oh, turns out Houston. Turns out Atlanta. I thought that they were going to bust through blue states and try to arrest brown people there. But it seems to me it's more like they're being put around in red states because the feckless red governors there are okay with this stuff kind of happening, and they're hoping not to get too much pushback. In other words, all of this is just a show. All of this is just to placate a 5-year-old next to his race car bed, playing with G.I. Joes and Pokemon, and placating him so he doesn't cry and hit the ground when when he's told no. None of this will do anything. Some people saying it's helped, long lines. I say, well, it's day one, and also how many people decided not to go after they find out ICE was going to be there. In the end, no matter what happens, the money is going to rule the day. And if airlines, companies say, you know what, we're losing too much money, get these motherfuckers out of here. Too many people are scared to come. We've lost this much money in this many days. They will be gone before you know it. And they're only in 12 places because they don't have enough to fill all of the airports. Duh, people, right? They don't. And this kind of cosplay, placating the ruler is so annoying at this point, man. I can't take it, bro.
I'm happy that they got their funding taken away, and honestly, I would stand in line at an airport for 12 hours if it means ICE, DHS not getting their funding at this point, because they've proven to be incompetent. They've proven that they'll murder people, that they won't let the states that the murders happen in investigate those murders. It's not one of these deals where they can make promises to reform. They're not capable of keeping their promises. So, I understand that there's importance in having security for the country, but they should really just pay these TSA agents and the Coast Guard in separate bills. DHS, the way it's being run, well,
that's the key, isn't it? That's the key. People, if you don't know what's happening, why ICE is there, it's because so many TSA agents are calling out, not coming in, because right now we're still in the midst of a partial government shutdown. DHS is not being funded thanks to the one thing it seems that Democrats might be able to do. We'll see how long they can keep it up before they turn into John Fetterman, but they also said the bill was just presented not more than 5-6 days ago. We will fund everything else in DHS except for the ICE agents until you make them wear cameras and masks, which I think is stupid. I think they should not get any money regardless of cameras and masks. I don't think cameras and masks are going, taking off the mask and adding cameras are going to help. I don't think more training is going to help. I think that they need to be defunded, gotten rid of. But fine,
yeah.
The Democrats said we're not going to pay for these mass thugs. But what we'll do is we'll go ahead and fund the rest of DHS. And the Republicans didn't sign the bill. They said, no, I want the violence more. I'd much rather the violence. I'd much rather the bullshit. This wouldn't even be an issue if Republicans signed the bill. But the only people who are still getting paid are the ICE agents, even though they're not supposed to be according to this bill, because they were paid in the big, beautiful bill.
And the concentration camps are still funded.
Still funded.
The people are still trapped inside. It's just it's dystopia.
He's incapable of creativity and forward thinking. He's incapable of interpretation. So even if you gave him a book to read, he wouldn't understand the deeper meanings. These things are foreign to a child, to a dummy, a knuckle dragger, a monkey, and an ape like this tangerine tornado. So he says, they're not doing what I want. I'm just gonna threaten online. Meanwhile, when it's time to actually do the fighting, what he does is run away, lie, run to daddy. When it's time to do the homework, he pays for the degree. I'm not saying that this won't happen. What I am saying is this pattern is annoying and it's fruitless. So if the Democrats decide to do anything other than treat it as such, they're the problem, not the 5-year-old. It's no longer the 5-year-old's problem. That's what this means. That's who we look to. He is incapable of being an adult. Therefore, the adults have to restrain him. Let's keep going. I'll put it back just a little bit. No, I'll keep it going.
Well, the president is saying that you, sir, are going to be in charge. How is that going to work? Are ICE agents going to move into American airports starting tomorrow, Monday?
Yes. And I'm currently.
Yes. He doesn't want to be there. He knows it's stupid. He knows it's impossible. They're going to have to be there. What they're going to do is pick some airports where they can find good publicity and get it on camera, because the 5-year-old in office will throw a tantrum if he doesn't see it. But once he sees it on the news, even though he's the president of the United States of America, he won't read the reports. But if he sees on the news, he'll be satiated. That's what that means. Yeah, it will happen. What are they going to do? Let's find out.
Currently working on the plan now.
Now, I thought that was important to show you guys. I'm going to show you the rest of it until our guest comes, who you're going to love, by the way, but we'll save that for next. But I thought that was important to show you that I made this yesterday, because you can predict this stuff. Of course, it's not going to be in everybody's airport, because they can't. They just don't. They don't have the numbers. And number two, they're in the places that have big markets. I thought they would be in the blue places, and turns out they're in the red places, because that's the only ones who will let them. It is all a stunt to be put on the news so that this bumbling buffoon, right? So that this skid mark on the underwear of this country can be satiated. And that's all it is. That's all it is. It'll be done soon, hopefully, because not even them is going to be able to get rid of the anger of TSA agents not getting paid. At some point, this is going to get into the pockets of airlines, and all of this will be done when the people who need to make money, or the first time that the Republicans have to go somewhere, or Democrats for that matter, have to go somewhere, and their flights are delayed. At that point, Democrats will either give up and pay for them, or Republicans will give up. Whoever has to fly first will be the first one to give in.
Yeah, and the last time this played out and the airports got nasty, as soon as rich people's private jets started not being able to take off on time, that's when it kicked in, and then the Democrats folded. So
immediately.
Hope they don't fold again, but I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah,
so
please don't. I need you around, brother.
See.
I need you
and
around.
If you do know any TSA agents out there, there's food, mutual aid, there's things that they need. So please, support your TSA agents wherever you are. They're going through really tough times right now. And, Republicans should pass the standalone TSA bill and solve this nightmare and get ICE out of our airports. But, Republicans want the concentration camps to keep running and DHS to keep abusing their power. So that's where we're at.
Man, you know what? Hey, listen, I want you to introduce our guest. Tell us who we got coming on today. Rook.
Good friend of mine. He put us up, Chance Meeting and I. We took a road trip earlier this year. He put us up in what was, I think, described as the cockpit of his soap factory. You've heard of it. You've seen it. You've seen their videos. My Cluck Hut. Tonight we have with us Trevor. There he is.
Thank you. What's up, y'all? Can you
there
hear
he
me?
is. Yo,
Hey.
You sound great. You look
Beautiful.
great.
Thank you.
The problem is that was a really short applause. Let me try it again. Come on. There you go. There it is. A little bit longer. There. Yeah. What's up,
Good.
Trev? What's going on, man?
Appreciate y'all, man. Good to be here with y'all.
Oh,
But
man.
thanks for being here. Tell us what's happening in Nashville. You're located in Nashville, right?
Yeah, I am. Our we of course have a Republican supermajority here, and hence why we're ranked 50th for quality of life. Number 4 for business, but that's not for us. Even though we're a small business, they like to bring in the billionaires. That's the oracles of the world. Really good for them. But our Tennessee Republican supermajority is pushing through a ton of very helpful. No, that's not the word I'm looking for. Shitty bills right now that specifically target our LGBTQ plus community, our immigrant community, and our speaker. He specifically this last session started, went to DC to meet with Stephen Miller to implement his dream immigration bills here in Tennessee. So we are fighting one right now that was actually introduced last year. We fought it off and then has been reintroduced this year, and it is State Bill 836. Basically, they wanted to call it Show Me Your Papers, but that was a little too 1938 Nazi Germany, apparently. So same bill, except for they're trying to call it a data collection bill now. Basically, what they're trying to do is be able to argue Plyler versus Doe, which established in 1982 at the Supreme Court, that would that allows and enforces that we teach all students, educate all students, regardless of immigration status. And what they're planning to do with this is that kids will have to show their immigration status. They have to show their papers to get educated. Now, even if they get it through, this is something that will go to the Supreme Court. And I think that's what they're trying to do, to overturn the greater law so that children won't be educated. And of course, as somebody who doesn't believe in cruel and unusual punishment for children and likes to be around educated people, I oppose this. But then they have a follow-up bill. It's House Bill 1711 coming right behind it. And it's another Show Me Your Papers. But this one would affect people, and it's all ages, but going to the hospital, you could be asked for your papers. You could be turned away if you don't have paperwork. So imagine being a parent with a sick child. You can't get treatment because you're an immigrant, because you don't have the right paperwork. This goes for food shelters, or for food pantries. This goes for all kinds of different things that basically remove these people from our ranks, from our society, and they're all freaking horrifying. Of course, we're also doing the anti-LGBTQ ones, which we're trying to basically minimize. Like, sure, the federal government can say that anybody can be married, but now they're trying to minimize at the state level every way they possibly can without outright saying that you're not married anymore. It's all horrible for the most part there. But the good news is the 836 bill, we actually got that pushed back from last week. It was supposed to be voted on Thursday. It's been so unpopular. We've been getting videos coming in. We've been pushing out to get teachers to make videos to talk about it. It got pushed back a week. So it's this Thursday. The fact is, it's highly unpopular. Even the Association of Principals from his home county of Hamilton County, all of them sent a letter opposing this bill. That's how unpopular it is. So that was a long answer for a short question, but a lot's going on.
No, that was absolutely perfect. And this is Tennessee, right?
Yes, we're in Tennessee.
All right, I want to show you something, because there's more bills coming down. Because good news. ICE is everywhere in Tennessee.
Yep.
Good news.
Yeah.
They're definitely on that. But other than that, I'm hearing stuff like this, brother. I want to know, how true is this? Is this real?
Let people know that in Tennessee, we're going to propose a bill that would basically put people who age out of the foster care system into fucking prison for no reason, just because they aged out of the foster care system. I just want to let everybody know that this morning, because that's fucking ridiculous. And I hope more people in Tennessee see this. And I don't know what I can do from where I'm at, but what I can do is speak up and spread awareness on it. So there's that.
I don't know what bill that is. I haven't heard of that one yet. Do you know what House bill it is?
While you're looking that up,
go ahead,
Trevor. How do you balance running a soap company with your wife and fighting all this cruelty?
So it's funny, funny is the wrong word, but last week I had a crash, just a burnout, and I shared it with our followers, our community. I hit a rock bottom, and I definitely. This happened to me. This is actually the reason this company started, was because I crashed out at the beginning of the pandemic. I always, being ADHD, having that ability to connect the dots and know where things lead, it always puts me at the leading edge of the horrible, because I can look at the horrible and see how that plays out. I can play all the variables and how people respond, et cetera, et cetera. So when the pandemic first started, and January, February, I was watching in Wuhan, I was seeing what was happening as it was spreading across the world. And, I understand how a virus works. I'm not naive. Now, it wasn't the virus itself I was scared of as much as, first of all, we didn't know what it was, but it was the inept leadership we had here and have here again, and how we would react. So my hope was obviously that as people, we came together and that we saw a virus we didn't understand. We took care of each other. We united. We wore masks. We just did what we could to mitigate. And then we didn't. We just did the opposite. We bullied people. And then, it was like when George Floyd was murdered, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is the moment we come together, we unite. And this is the naivety of having grown up as a white man. And I'm thinking to myself, this is it, because as somebody who just has an innate sense of justice and empathy, I see this man crying for his mom, and he's murdered for 8.5 minutes. This is it. Nobody can watch that and not just be completely broken to pieces. And then we didn't. And it just was even more the opposite, where people just went to the point of, he said, but Black Lives Matter, they couldn't even say that. They had to come up with a phrase that we've all knew was false, which they've proved time and time again is false, that all lives matter. And I just realized that I just couldn't anymore. I just hit rock bottom. And this business started out of that. It was fuck it. I hate this. I hate it here. And I looked at my wife one day and I just said, it's either blow my brains out or change the world. I can't do it. And so that's what I did. I said, let's build a business that does it the right way, that prioritizes people on the planet and diversity and eco-friendliness. And let's not take venture capital. Let's build it the right way. So that whole thing came out of my burnout. And I had that burnout last week. So, it's been a tough year, but 10 years, however long it's been since Trump came into office. And last week, between the war, between ICE, between everything that's been burning me out for a while, it really came down to the fact that every single person knows, even if they won't admit they knows that Trump is a pedophile, a sexual predator that did these horrifying children. And fact is, he had and we all heard the phone call where he said, I don't care. You keep those files buried and, start a war if you have to. Just don't let them get out. If you do, I'll take you down with me. The guy literally did that. He started a war, a worthless war, a war that meant nothing, because he already said we got rid of all the nukes, right? That's nuclear capabilities have been destroyed. And so we start this war, and we see him doing it with Netanyahu, which tells me that he has something over him too. Honestly, to the point now where I'm like, why doesn't he just say he's a pedophile? Because I don't think any of his supporters would leave him. I think they'd be like, yeah, pedophilia or whatever. But
they already are.
Yeah. So
you hear him saying stuff like, well, I heard somebody say, well, why is that wrong?
Right.
And I was like, wow, bro.
So that was you went from
Q to why is that wrong? Anyway, Q.
No, that's it. That's it. That was my George Floyd moment. Again, started an entire war to distract from the fact that he's a sexual predator. And so that's when I hit rock bottom, because I couldn't possibly, and this is why I've stopped having a fucking any hope for these people whatsoever, is because in my mind, there's no possible way that anybody could allow a pedophile, could be okay with that. And I had to, again, hit that rock bottom. And so, it is tough trying to run a business that has to sell a product to stay afloat, to afford to pay our staff. And, we strive to pay a living wage. We make sustainable choices, which are more expensive than just using plastic. We don't use palm oil, which, it would be a cheaper choice, but we want to make sustainable choices. And on top of that, trying to keep up and inform people, use our platform to inform our fellow Tennesseans about what's going on here, what they can do, how they can get involved, but also write content that keeps me laughing, which in part keeps others people laughing. I call it my therapy. And so other people get to have therapy with me, but I also write all our content. I edit it and I film it. I have a great team. Our production manager, one of our business partners, he now runs the entire production floor, and he has staff and he has a fulfillment team. So I'm able to focus more on the futuring, the creative. But it is a constant battle all the time. It's exhausting. This building a small business in general is work, because it is a system set up for big business. It is a system set up for venture capital. It's a system set up against small business. I mean, I can tell you right now that from February to February last year till February this year, we did 1.2 million in sales. And of that, we have $44,000 sitting in a bank account that will be going to taxes. Of all of that, with expenses and everything, you know how much and I'm telling you, we didn't even pay me, Jennifer, or Alex, three of the partners. One of the partner makes full-time, take care of his family, but Jennifer works full-time. We live frugally off hers, and our creative director, Alex, works full-time. And then our CFO, who started as our bookkeeper, became a partner, works part-time, but has a full-time job. We only started paying ourselves this was our 5th year. We started paying ourselves $333 a week in November of last year. So it would be $666 every 2 weeks, because we're evil. And after that,
I love it. I love it.
After all that, we only netted $178,000. That is how difficult it is to be a small business. And that's split, if we're going to split it amongst 4 or 5 partners. And then you take on top of that, we try to, we didn't even advertise, by the way. That's with almost zero advertising, paid advertising. We also gave back over almost $20,000 to different nonprofits. But I try not to do any advertising on social media because I don't want to give the billionaires more money. And we built such a great community that people buy organically. The problem is, as gas prices go up and people see this war going on, people do slow down. And it is something that is a constant worry. However, it also feels completely tone deaf to talk about soap while people are in concentration camps being tortured, and children are in concentration camps dying, and people are being murdered on the streets, and black men are being found in trees saying it's a suicide. And I have to sell soap? Yeah, it doesn't feel great. And so that's where I struggle. I struggle all the time. That's what last week's burnout really was trying to find that balance, man.
Well, it is all kinds. I remember Big Sar says it, and this is something I know from the military as well. There are 70%, just about 70% of everyone during wartime in the military, 70% of them is support. The trucks, the mechanics, the cooks, the people making MREs, the factories, the people patrolling, people financing, getting people paid, taking care of families. 70% of the war machine is support. Only 30% is the people out there fighting and shooting. So you are part of the most important part of the fight, which is the support that you're bringing, which is developing these networks, developing pipelines for money to go to places where it needs to be. What you do is as important as anybody else out there. So you can remember that. And in this kind of a fight, it may be even way more than just 70% of this thing will be the support, which is and the creative ideas of how to help. That's what you are. You're a part of that, bro. Don't ever forget it.
And I think that's the same thing I want to remind all of our community of, because I always get this response from people. I get this response of, but I don't have a platform like you do. And I have to stop them in their tracks and go, but you have a platform. I don't care if it's 5 people. I don't care if it's 1 person. Use your voice. People don't want to speak up because they don't know. They don't think they can do anything. They don't. And it's what they want us to believe. They want us to think it's hopeless and we give up. But the thing is, trying to remind them and empower them and make them the hero of their own story, that you can be calling your representatives. You can be going to your state house. You can be out there building up community aid. You can help so many ways. And I think that's what I try to remind others of as well, is because I built this business because I wanted to build something that was bigger than I could be alone, because I wanted to be part of something bigger than I could be alone. And that's what I want our community to always understand, is that this is about what we can do collectively. The bigger concept of this originally was if we can't take big business down head on, what if we can actually build a business big enough that we have a community that can affect the bottom line of big business? If big business is only going to be focused on the financial part of capitalism and not the human or the environmental part of capitalism, then let's affect it. Let's affect their dollar. And that's what I always say, you can vote with their dollar, is once you affect that, they ask why. Their board says, why have we lost money in this sector or that? And it's because this company over here is paying a living wage. This company over here is making sustainable choices. And they will literally have to go, okay, well, then we need to too. We forced their hand. That was the original concept of this, and will is the concept. We just had to sidestep a little bit into fighting full-blown fascism, which again is not new. America's fought fascism since the beginning. We were built on fascism, but this is something that everyone's getting to experience, not just our black and brown families, not just indigenous people. And it's something that needed to happen. There needed to be this awakening. It's not fun. It fucking sucks. But, I keep trying to remind myself of the pendulum and remind myself that we do eventually swing back. And we just need to make sure we are putting the systems in place. We are building the coalitions. We are building the teams, the communities, so that when it does start to come back, we are able to implement and create that progressive future that we want. And that's what we're doing with like the Reasoned Reality and the Courage candidates and all these different groups that are vetting and putting forward progressive candidates. We are building this coalition, all the content creators, all the different nonprofits that are building coalition. It's coming together, and it would not have happened if it wasn't for this. And it's such a silver lining thing because nobody wants this. However, my brain works like this. I am always going to find the silver lining because without it, I'm hopeless. I have to create hope. I have to create and find where we can attack, where we can find victories, where we can put a target on the wall to aim for. And that is what we have this opportunity right now. And again, it's going to be awful. There's going to be a lot of terrible shit. However, what I have seen from just the groups that, we're a part of, you're a part of, that we have built such a tight knit community. Now, if we can just as leftists stop kicking our own ass and stop infighting and stop policing each other, if we can stop that
Christ.
and focus on what we can do, we can disagree. Disagreeing's okay. It's just we fight, and we will literally just steal victory or defeat out of the mouth of victory
every time. Listen, before we move on to other subjects, there's two things. One is, as a business owner, I have something called I was interviewing somebody who does the freeblackmarket.com, who is, I'll play the video and I'll let you tell me what you think of it. But before that, there was this Tennessee bill, and I found some stuff on that as well. So let's take a look.
We don't want to leave our viewers on the edge of their seat like that. So,
Kids in foster care could end up in juvenile detention even without charges.
Lawmakers are pushing forward legislation as DCS says there are safety concerns with some of the children they watch over. Jared Austin joins us in the studio tonight. Jared, a big concern is some of these kids could just be accused, not convicted of these crimes.
Yeah, the worry is it may just be allegations the child is being violent that could get them inside these juvenile detention centers. Now, DCS says this will only affect a small group of violent children, but those against it say the bill isn't clear enough.
It's a term raising concerns for children in Tennessee's foster system, a child in need of heightened supervision. Spike Cohen with You Are the Power says the language is too vague.
So there's just way too much weasel wording in here.
This phrase means any child showing or threatening violent behavior, regardless of any charges being filed, can wind up in a juvenile detention center. Cohen, who works to protect people from government abuse, worries this will put kids behind bars without a fair process.
It lists if the child is incompetent to stand trial. Well, if it's a 7 or an 8-year-old, of course they're incompetent to stand trial.
The Department of Children's Services answering questions before the Senate Judiciary Committee, saying there will be due process for these children. They add more protections are needed for those who are assaulted by kids.
we have many assaults in our facilities, and oftentimes law enforcement just do not bring charges on those assaults. And so this provides an avenue for the court to address those situations.
If this passes,
How?
a child could face an additional 6 months in DCS care, which DCS says has to be approved by the courts.
This, again, being told to the kids before they are being committed to the department, being made aware of this possible circumstances to deter this behavior.
But an attorney with the Youth Law Center has concerns about due process. How would the assaults be reported, and would there be enough investigating to see it?
All right, I got enough. So, in other words, we still have to fill more prison space, and there's no better people to abuse than people who don't have a voice.
Right, and people that we didn't provide an education that, great education to, people that have been forgotten by a system already, that don't have ownership over anything. Yeah, no, this is exactly, but this is what they do. They pose things in a way that it sounds like it could be helpful, which this one doesn't really at all. But a lot of the bills they try to pose it so it sounds helpful. The problem is that it's the what he said, the weaseling. It's the little things on the side that they'll be able to sneak in, and who's to say that they get to decide this child was violent? What did they do? What is the violence they committed? Could it be just they yelled, they were angry? Now, does it bring into account that, have they been diagnosed? Do they have some kind of mental disorder? Do they have OCD, ADD, ADHD, ADHD? Are they autistic? There's so many things that just jailing kids instead of actually putting money into healthcare, education, therapy, being able to give these kids something that they don't care, because again, Core Civic, the CEO of Core Civic is in Franklin, and he is making bank. And that's what they do. They're building a system of slaves. They're building slavery, and it's just like they keep talking about, these men that are talking about, well, you need to get a woman when she's young, because that way she doesn't have an education, she doesn't know any better, she doesn't know anything else, and you get to lock them down. And it's the same thing. It's slavery. It's these weak men who understand that once people are educated and grown, they will realize what pathetic, fragile husks of humans they are. But if they get them young, they can torture them. They can use them and put them in slavery, basically. Well, in slavery. It's disgusting. So, and even when we're talking about what did they do? What is this? Yeah, what is it? Here, we got someone named Ella Batami. I'm sorry to mess up your name. Ella Batami says, and she's from the foster care system, says, we don't get to make mistakes. We don't get to have a temper tantrum. We don't get to have bad days. We're not allowed to be children. And the person interviewing her says she's a former foster care youth, and says getting in trouble could cost them their home, their foster family. And under this new proposed bill in Tennessee, the stakes would be even higher. Bad behavior could land foster kids in detention centers, typically reserved for kids who've committed real crimes. Back to me again here says foster children are entitled to a childhood in the same way other children are entitled to a childhood. And there should not be a childhood with the sword of prison dangling over their heads. So, let that sink in, people. If it's easy to hear these other folks talk about it, until you remember, oh yeah, we're talking about kids. My son took a swing at a kid the other day because they were calling him names. He doesn't have any. He's gonna come home to a loving family. It's gonna teach him about right and wrong. He was in foster care. Under this bill, he'd be going to prison paying for being a child. Come on, guys. This is where we are. This is where we are. This is what I was talking about earlier. You can't shame the shameless, and you can't give a heart to the heartless. I mean, they don't feel feelings. The people that we're up against, they don't feel feelings. They perform. They're very performative with their feelings. They were performative when Charlie Kirk died. They made up this whole narrative that the entire left was laughing, and then Robert Mueller dies, and the president literally tweets Truth Social that says, "Good, I'm glad he's dead."
Yep.
I don't.
No, and nobody can say anything about it.
Yeah. So I'm done pretending that they have feelings. I'm done pretending that what we're up against cares. They don't.
Period. Thank you, sir.
Do not.
Thank you for saying that. I spent the past 7 or 8 months of my life trying to convince people that I understand who we're up against. I know this thing. Number one, I saw it for 4 years, only 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, on the other hand, I know the narcissist. I understand sociopathy. I understand what we're up against, and there's an entire 35% of America. There's about 35% of humans that are like this. They all happen to be Republican because that's the place that accepts them.
It gives them identity. It's the place that gives them identity. And that's the problem with identity politics. And the reason they're so good at it is it's developed in the church. You are given, from the time you're born, they give you a man on a horse. That man on a horse is God, Jesus, your pastor, then becomes your man on a horse. And to deny anything, to argue, to ask questions is questioning God. So you stop asking questions. And what they did was they took that pipeline, and the Republican Party realized that this is an attentive audience. It's the same way that an artist, like a musician, an artist, when they start aging out of ever being able to really make it in contemporary music, they get too old for that. What do? They lean into Christian conservative, Christian CCM, Christian contemporary music, because that is a captive audience. Well, the thing is, with people that don't have their own identity, it's things that they don't understand are scary. They've always been told what to think. They've also always been told who to listen to. So the Republican Party was brilliant in that. They basically built this pipeline of you go straight from church. And now I remember a church, like back in the day when I was just 20 some years ago, I went to this church. And I remember the pastor kind of like, it was a Baptist church. And he kind of hinted at, but basically straight up said that, I'm not telling you to vote for George Bush, but George Bush is the Christian candidate. And I thought to myself, this is illegal. We're a nonprofit church. You're not supposed to be talking about candidates at all. Well, the thing is, they always did and they always will, but they funneled these people right into this tribe. And I don't mean that to use the word tribe or outside of indigenous people. I'm saying it's a tribalism. And that tribalism is what they were grown into. That's all they know. So without the tribe, they're alone. So it's scarier to leave all of that for a lot of them than it is to just be part of it. And on top of that, you have to remember too that they've built their entire media network around propaganda that is telling them only good things, is calling the other people the enemy, and Trump has just exacerbated that. And so at the end of the day, it's I don't know. That's why I guess I fight back and forth. I have this dichotomy in my head. Is like, I wonder if we got them out of the cult. Monty Mater is one of my very good friends, and that's one of the things that her and I talked about a lot, because she deconstructed and I deconstructed. And is it possible to get them out? And maybe do they have feelings in there somewhere? And I've seen some come out, but I've also seen some of the people that have come out of MAGA, and they turn around and they go, they immediately, it's not, I'm going to put the work in. I fucked up. Let me put the work in. It's what, you're not going to accept me. They want a celebration because they got out. It's like, no, fuck you. No, I'm not going to celebrate. Like, you did the right thing. Here's a cookie. Like, and then they go, well, then I guess I just won't vote Democrat. It's like, see, you're not out.
Exactly.
You're the same person.
The whole point is you're not doing it for the right reason.
Exactly. So I don't know. There are people, I have to believe they don't have feelings until they do the work and prove to me that they do. I just have to assume that they do not feel feelings. And the other thing is, I've read the whole Bible. I've translated it in Greek and Hebrew. I actually got into I was raised Catholic because of my dad's family, got out of that after confirmation, and then they got their hooks back into me with the evangelical church, because I was a drummer and they needed a drummer, and then I ended up becoming a youth pastor, this whole thing. But getting back into it,
the exact same thing.
Yeah. Did your priest go to jail
drummer to pastor?
Did your priest go to jail for child pornography?
No, not that thing.
I won that one.
No, you got me there.
Yeah, good times. No, so same, that Yikes. Journey. They get their hooks in you, man. And so the second time though, when I got into the church, the reason I got into it, besides the drumming part, was the words in red. I was like, dude, I get that. Like this guy I get this guy. It's about love. It's about acceptance. It's about kindness. It's about fuck the money changers. Like I like this guy. And then I realized that he has nothing to do with the church.
Right.
And that's where I started going, wait a second.
No, they don't know. They don't like him. They really don't like him.
No, that guy's nothing like him.
All right. Well, go ahead.
Going back to something you said, I agree with you wholeheartedly that there's an empathy, a deficit.
Yeah.
And it might be worse than a deficit because that just means that there's some empathy. I think in a lot of cases, like you said, there is no empathy. And that's why you see a lot of people who leave MAGA are leaving MAGA because they ultimately got affected and didn't expect to, but they got affected.
That's how they always work. That's how they always operate.
Right. And then, then they want to come out and, I've seen people be affected by this administration and some of them come out, and they want instant acceptance. But I'm just, I always struggle with like, what is the best way to, get these people out completely, is it to agree or just tell them that they were lied to? I mean, it seems really hard for us to imagine being that gullible.
And imagine how embarrassing it's got to be for them.
Right. And
realize
and like you said, because we can say you're a dumbass and I can't believe you thought, that you were such a dumbass. And I think, doing some of that, forces them back into that tribalism because then they, but on the other hand, it's like, we're not just going to a lot of people aren't going to be welcoming and you need to understand that. So it's not.
I think this is where we set example. This is where we set example. We create the cool kids table. They have to put in the work. We have to make something they want to be a part of.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm going to go with you on that, but this is important. Yes. I'm on this.
Let's go.
I'm on this. Number one, Saturday Night Live did that skit where the mom was telling her entire family who was like liberal and she was a Trump supporter. She was like, I'm going to say something and I don't want you to react. You cannot react in any way at all. And that's the only way I'll say it. And all the kids go, okay, finally. And she says, I think that maybe Trump is bad for the country. And all the kids on the couch go, what the fuck? We've been saying this for a year, blah, 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 blah. She goes, what did I say? Forget it, I'm going back.
Yeah.
And then the husband says, listen, man, if you guys keep doing this, I'm not going to get laid tonight. Just tell her sorry. The people on the couch end up having to be the ones to say, I'm sorry to the person who has voted for their demise.
Yep.
For their demise. This is how we act as Democrats, as decent people, as Christians, as a good Christian. This forgiveness, this idea that we don't want you to feel bad. The other side of that is the absolute reason why that person would vote for Trump and telling them that they're back on our side is a wrong move. Is because when the next dictator comes around and the next demagogue comes and tells them that they can have power one more time and dangles it in front of them, they will leave and they will go back there and we will have lost if we allow it. The 35%, fuck you. All of you, fuck you. Every day of my life is geared toward ensuring that you never ever see power or daylight again. I don't care. And if you happen to be good enough and prove enough and do the right things and really change, then you will do so. I will say fuck you until then, because if I allow this bullshit, I've seen it in my family.
Yeah.
I've seen it in my family. My brother right now has been deported to Jamaica.
I'm sorry.
For his entire life. I'm not sorry. He deserved it.
Oh, really?
For his entire life. He destroyed a family
because
our decent family for years would do the prodigal son thing, would always the forgiving thing, and he could always inveigle and wiggle away around until something else caught his fancy that he could use, and it was always worse because he's a sociopath.
They're abusers. Yeah, that's just toxic abuse. There's
and then what happened is the people who paid the price for that. The people who paid the price were the ones who were good, the ones who were decent. And the entire family has been at the mercy of a sociopath because the forgiving nature. And it doesn't help. The best thing you can do is support the good ones. Find the ones who need to be out here fighting. The 35% of them, the ones you're going to be able to peel off, it doesn't even matter.
No, that's what I was.
They'll peel off.
That's what I was saying. We create the cool kids table. We leave them at the children's table. We don't invite them over. We create our own reality over here. Now, the greatest hope is that one day maybe they'll come over and be like, "Can I?" And we'll be like, "If you're cool." And the second they aren't, be like, "Fuck off." But the best case scenario is that we build our own thing, and the new generation, the next generation, people coming up will see these really uncool fuckers over here sitting at this table all angry and gray and looking like thumbs, and they'll look over here and see these people that are joyful and building something great and thriving and building a world, and they'll be like, I want that, I don't want that. So fuck them. Fuck all of them. Let them have their, and that's the same thing I always say about the reason we do our content the way we do is because these people tell you what they need. They tell you how they feed. They said it for years. They say, "Oh, I love liberal tears. Give me those liberal tears." What they're saying is they're a parasite and they need your tears. They feed off your tears. So my whole thing was, well, you tell me what to do, I'm going to do the opposite. So why am I going to give you what you want? Remember the fact that these people, nobody who has ever been a self-actualized person that has self-worth has ever needed to minimize anyone else to feel value. We don't have to, because we are on our own big. We don't have to make someone small to feel big. But all of these people, bullies in general, that's what they do. And so they are trying to push and poke and poke and poke till they get a reaction, because that's the closest thing that they will ever get to respect or love or someone, actually have an authentic interaction with them. It's not, but it's the closest thing they can find to it, because no one has ever respected them in their entire lives, other than if they use fear to do it. That is what Trump is. That is what every one of his cronies is. They use fear. But the thing that breaks down those kind of people is by exposing them. They already know they're tiny people. That's why they do it. You laugh at them. You expose them. You shine the mirror on them. You make them look like the tiny people they are, because a dictator cannot be powerful and all-powerful and feared if he looks like a clown.
Yep.
This is very much what we do.
That's very, very true. And Doug, did you get the video I sent you on Signal right before this started? Because what Trevor's talking about, laughing at power, I just thought we might be able to take a moment, run a little soap commercial, because as Trevor said earlier, laughing at power and providing people with laughs like he does with the My Cluck Hut platform, it's one of those things. Obviously, it takes money and time to create those videos, but a smile or a laugh is one of the best things you can give to people to give them some hope. Do you want to tell us anything about the soap before we play the video?
Yeah. So I had this concept, I had this idea, since we're a chicken themed soap company. We do have our traditionally masculine line, we call it our cock line. We also have fruits and citrus, floral, and our non-binary line. And all of our soaps have pronouns, so like cock line, he, she, they, floral, she, he, them, citrus, and they, them for our non-binary line. And so I figured, we have a regular size cock line. Well, we should have a tiny cock line, a tinier soap. And so I thought, well, who would be the perfect spokesperson for this but Stormy Daniels? And so I pitched it to her, and
I love it.
she loved it. And so we created a Stormy Daniels tiny cock soap, and it has nothing to do with who you might think it has something to do with. It doesn't. It's literally a tiny rooster on the packaging, and we're chicken themed, and it even comes with a tiny sack. You watch the video. This is the one of them. We did 3 of these.
All right, here we go.
What up, Cluckers?
What's up, Stormy Daniels?
So is my tiny cock soap ready? Can I see my tiny cock soap?
Yeah, sorry. It's
This way, Stormy.
this way.
So what do you think? Oh my goodness. It's such a tiny little cock soap. Isn't it just the tiniest little guy? Look how small it is in my hand. And it even comes with a tiny sack. This might be the tiniest cock soap I have ever seen. Really? I lied. Because actually this one time I did see one smaller.
Smaller than that? It doesn't seem like it'd last very long.
Trust me, it didn't.
Sounds like a good travel soap, though. It could slide in any pocket.
It definitely didn't take up much room. Is he okay?
Oh, come on. You know what? Worth it.
Oh my God. No, bro. Bro. Come on, bro. No,
I want to watch the other 2 now.
Yeah, no, hold on. Wait a minute. Are the other 2 on
Tennessee's
here?
Yeah, try that one. That's it.
Y'all open?
Stormy Daniels, what are you doing at My Cluck Hut?
I saw the rooster on your sign and I love cocks.
Oh, nice. We have chickens too, hence the whole chicken themed soap company.
Funny story. I had this tiny little bantam cock one time.
Oh, just a little fowl?
He was more than a little fowl.
Oh, did you let him in your coop?
Yeah, I did. But, he didn't last very long.
What happened?
He saw my rooster.
They didn't get along.
I think he got jealous.
Why's that?
Because mine's bigger.
Introducing Stormy Daniels tiny cock soap from My Cluck Hut.
Not all tiny cocks are memorable.
But all tiny cocks should be remembered.
So hurry. They won't last long.
That's what she said.
It sure is.
Oh my God. It's too much. It's too good. It's too good. It's too much.
Y'all open?
Actually, if you scroll down, go down a little bit more.
I got
a little bit more. Go, okay, to the left. The one on the left right there. That was the teaser reel. This one's finally have a tiny cock soap.
And it even comes with a little sack.
It's so cute. Now we just need a spokesperson.
Have you tried putting up flyers?
Yeah, I've been putting these up everywhere. Nothing.
Who's that?
Hopefully somebody who knows something about tiny cocks. Stormy Daniels. So,
beautiful.
So what's funny in that one is the number that's on the wanted poster is the number to the White House tip line.
Ooh.
Just a little Easter egg.
Nice. Nice.
I love it. Did you write all those scripts?
Yeah, I write all our scripts. I film, I edit, everything's in house. I do it all.
Man.
Now, do you want to see me in badass drag?
Yes, please.
All right,
let's do it.
Bring it up. So we do this collaboration with Dolly Parton every year. For National Reading Month, we do 30% of the proceeds back to Imagination Library. We've been doing this about 4 years now. My Cluck and Dolly Barton and Dolly Jarton, a soap and candle. And then we created the scent for Dolly. She approved it. And then we give back 30% of the proceeds. So this is the launch video. And I brought in a friend of mine who she is the Nashville Scene Best of 2024 drag performer.
Do you love Dolly Parton?
Who doesn't love Dolly? Wait.
What is it you always say about early childhood literacy?
The more children who can read, the less morons we will see.
That's right.
Okay, if we're doing this, we're going to do it right. I'm calling in reinforcements.
Hello?
Hey, Miss Kennedy Ann Scott.
Hey, girl.
We've got a code Dolly.
I'm on my way.
She's on her way.
When will she be?
Love the editing.
That was fast.
Whoa, am I hot? Patagonia, eat your heart out. In celebration of National Reading Month, our Dolly Parton and Dolly Jarton are available starting March 1st, with a portion of the proceeds going to support the incredible work of our friends over at the Imagination Library of Middle Tennessee. Early childhood literacy is key to fighting off dumb cluckery, so help us give a cluck and get yours before they're gone.
I can't tell you how much I love that. That's on the internet forever.
Jealous?
Honestly, a little bit.
Girl, I know.
Oh, Lord, I've created a monster.
That's fantastic.
Oh my God.
So anyways,
beautiful.
we have a good
It's
we have a good
beautiful.
time. We have a good time.
You need to go do some karaoke in that. Find a karaoke spot in Nashville and sing.
Man,
Trevor.
that was so much work. They call it beating your mug. You get your mug beat to get dressed up in drag like that. And that was without, like, I didn't shave my chest. That's without doing any of the chest work that they do as well. How they'll do the.
No, it was better with the hairy chest. That's what made it hilarious. All right, so listen, man. Before we go, there is one thing that I want to make sure we hit. Your company is, I mean, like I said before, part of a movement. And a necessary part of it. This type of creativity that we see here, making this money that goes back into the movement, and you are marching out there on the front lines with us, not in a boardroom somewhere. The change that you're trying to make, someone else is also trying to do the same thing. I want to show you a little video of this guy who I interviewed, and I want you to think about what it is that he's proposing and moving into a way to distribute bigger without having to use giant corporations, but instead having that money go to help people in need as well as make yourself bigger. It's just great. Just watch. Okay. I'm not even, he's better at it than me. Tell us about what you got with the freeblackmarket.com.
So freeblackmarket.com takes the capitalist infrastructure and gives it to the people. So I want mutual aid organizations, food banks, anybody that's out here doing good for the people, and also small businesses to be able to be as efficient as possible. So in order to do that, we work with the people who are trying to make money, and then also work with people who are trying to feed people, who are trying to house people, any of that. So we're going to share the infrastructure and get it paid for. We also have a trade network. We're going to have, it's not a crypto coin, but it's basically an infrastructure-backed crypto coin. So if it's like an actual product, it can be sold as a crypto coin, and then you just transfer that product. It's to keep it out of capitalism.
Yeah, that's crazy. So I want to talk about this part.
Michigan, we just heard the cottage food laws change. In 2026, you can use the black market to exchange your product up to $75,000. We fall under the same rules as DoorDash and Uber Eats, and the delivery system is getting set up right now. Provide for your community, put it on the black market.
Talk about that.
So I call it a capitalist honeypot. Our vendors are the ones that provide the 3%. It's 3% that covers everything, no additional fees. So that covers the infrastructure that we need in order to make our mutual aid organization successful as well. And the benefit is that we should have the farmers on there selling direct to customer, their CSA, as well as the people who are creating products. So that's your manufacturers and your producers. And then as well as the people who are consuming the product, all in one spot. And it's all community funded, community organized. And the cottage food laws allow for us to actually expand upon that. And cottage food laws are basically saying that people like us can sell to each other or trade with each other without having a middleman. You don't have to go to a corporation in order to sell your plates or your frozen foods or your vegetables or your fruits and send them through the mail as well, is also expanded upon in that law. And a lot of other states have laws that are similar. And as well, if you need a food truck to deliver this because you have cold food items, we should have food trucks on there that are doing delivery. It's just like we sign up vendors, we're signing up people that can deliver. And then even for the food banks, we're trying to take donations to pay for that delivery service. So somebody gets paid, the food bank gets a little extra chip off, and then you just fed a family who can't leave their house right now because this is snowy conditions. The Market Coalition. I'm on Instagram too, or you.
Hell yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah, and that's I've seen a few of these pop up. That is really cool. I like the mutual aid portion. I like bringing in the idea of the crypto is really fucking cool. To have something that's
right, internal crypto,
decentralized,
not on the market.
Yeah, like decentralized outside of like crypto. That's cool.
Right.
I dig. That's creating a new reality. That's creating your own ecosystem, and that's. There's similar things happening. We're part of like Minocqua Marketplace, Little Blue Cart, Dark Yarn. Jake from Dark Yarn is building something where percentage of the proceeds from every sale, like we have our products on there. There's 3 businesses now on there, go back to candidates. Say for instance, candidates from like the Courage candidates, progressive candidates that won't take super PAC money, etc. Money goes back to that. So I'm loving seeing this. And again, what we talked about at the beginning is these things are happening because of the fact that we are in this unfettered late stage capitalistic hellscape. And we're like, well, we don't care for this. Let's build our own. That's what I did with my business. It's what he's doing, which I can't wait to go check him out. When I get off here, send me his handle and all that. I want to go check it out. Free Black Market. I'm going to look it up. But
yeah, I'm going to send you his handle. I'm going to send you some email with his everything.
Political
so you guys
drain,
can actually
I think,
talk
right?
if you want.
Yeah, they said I think it was like political drain.
No, I'm a political
Oh,
drain.
you're
That was my
okay.
thing. So you can email me too, because guess what? I got a roundtable coming up
Well, shit,
with
you don't even follow
courage
us.
candidates.
You don't even follow us, bro. I am offended.
Jeez,
I am
getting
offended.
called out there, dog.
Let me see. Let me see.
I just followed you, baby.
Hell no, I don't follow none of y'all motherfuckers.
Probably wise, honestly. It's probably
I
wise.
learned from Trump. Just double down. Fuck all of that. I don't follow none of y'all.
No, I want
I will indeed, though.
It's that creativity that's going to get us out of this in this late stage capitalistic society. And one of the things before, because I know we only got a couple minutes left, but one of the most creative things I've seen this year is what you've done with your Facebook page and the ability to monetize it. And for the people that don't know, can you tell them what happens with the funds that you generate at Facebook?
So I had this concept. I was like, I saw we were available, or it was an option to monetize our Facebook. And so I was like, we're a business. We sell products. We don't necessarily need that monetization. And I don't want to pay for advertising and give Meta more money. So my concept was, what if every month we gave 100% of the proceeds from our monetization to a different nonprofit? Now, the best part about this, the win-win comes in here, is that we already I don't want MAG on our page. I don't want to deal with them. I don't want their droning and freaking drooling on our page. So what we do is we work with businesses. Like in February for Black History Month, we worked with the Equity Alliance, which is Tennessee's largest Black voter mobilization engagement nonprofit, amongst many other things, community organization and whatnot. And what we did was we made a graphic, and the graphic says, this comment section is the monetization from this comment section is donated entirely to the Equity Alliance, and then has a little blurb about them at the bottom. And so what I tell our people to do is this. I say, hey guys, so when you see a MAGA troll, first of all, know this: whenever you comment, whenever you like something, you're Robin Hood now. You are giving back to this nonprofit. But whenever a MAGA troll comments, so for instance, last month, I said, jump in there and say, post the graphic, and then say, thank you so much for your donation to Equity Alliance. We too believe that Black votes and lives matter. So now MAGA has to make a choice. Do they reply? Do they comment again? Because now they're admitting Black Lives Matter. This month, we're doing Planned Parenthood of Tennessee and Northern Mississippi. So when they comment, we get to say, thank you so much for your public pro-choice stance, and we will be making a donation in your name to Planned Parenthood. It has been amazing to watch. MAGA basically just stops commenting immediately. We have been able to give back. We gave over almost $1,300 back to Equity Alliance last month. We're on track to give a little over $1,000, it looks like, back this month to Planned Parenthood, all from Meta, basically taking money from the billionaires, and people are engaging with our content. Our followers, our community will start arguments in our comment section like pineapple on pizza, shit like that, just to build engagement. So instead of paying for advertising, they're engaging with our content, which is pushing our content out further. So we're winning on every front, and we get to give back to these nonprofits, which are putting in the work.
That's freaking.
So head on over to My Cluck Hut on Facebook and give them a follow, and maybe go into some comment sections and stoke the fire there.
We call it petty with purpose.
I love
Being
it.
petty with purpose.
I love it. Hey, check that private chat over there on the side, Trevor, if you see that. And I just got to say, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for dressing in drag and providing that bit of. I will be rewatching that again for fun's sake. And thank you for all that you do, man. This is absolutely amazing to see the amount of creativity and the people who care that we've been able to get on this little podcast of ours. And as it grows slowly but surely, I think that it's helping me feel better about the world that I'm in. I'm starting to see people like you, people like us. We are not as sparsely positioned as I may have thought before, man. It's inspiring, buddy. It's inspiring.
Yeah, no, same. And that's, I think, the same thing. Every time this happens, every time we have a new connection, I always call it our orbit of good. And that orbit, whenever a new business, a new collaborator, a new person, a new customer, a new family member, community member joins that orbit, the orbit grows. And as it grows, the gravitational pull gets stronger, which just means more people get pulled in. And that's all we're doing, is just building this orbit. The bigger our universe gets, the more people are drawn to it. We just keep building.
Awesome.
No quit. Thank you so much for having me, though. I love you guys, man. Appreciate you having me on.
Thank you. Absolutely. And everyone go buy some soap and support a good cause. Get involved. Take some action. Thank you for being with us, Trevor. And we'll be in touch.
I appreciate it. Love y'all.
Y'all remember, the time to fight is now. All right? And don't leave yet, Trevor. Hold on.
Kill the recording.
It's been killed.